Hello student, good morning, welcome back. So today I am going to start new chapter electromagnetic induction. It is a very important chapter. So today our first topic is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, it has two laws. So I'm going to start with first law. Okay, so here we take any coil and this coil connect with a galvanometer. This is a galvanometer and this is a coil. Okay, here n number of turns, and we take any bar magnet, and we already know that bar magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. Okay, when this bar magnet move towards or away, move towards with velocity or away with another velocity or whatever with the same velocity here, okay, the magnetic field lines coming out from north pole and enter into south pole. Okay, these magnetic field lines. Okay, so this magnets comes closer to this coil. Okay, when these magnets come closer to this coil, the magnetic field lines will also change here. Okay, I mean this magnet comes closer to this coil, more and more magnetic lines will pass through this coil. Okay, due to which magnetic flux changes here. Due to which magnetic flux, the symbol of magnetic flux is this. Then magnetic flux changes here. Okay, because more magnetic field line passing through this coil. Okay, so this first law states that whenever this amount of magnetic flux linked with this closed circuit changes, and EMF is induced here. Okay, due to this magnetic field, I mean this magnetic flux line of magnetic field changes here. Okay, more and more magnetic field lines passing through it. Okay, passing through coil, then magnetic flux changes here. Okay, so due to which induced EMF produced inside this coil. Okay, so this is our first law. Okay, so whenever the amount of magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit changes, and EMF is induced in it, which lasts only so long as the change in flux okay, flux is taking place. So this is our first law. Okay, I repeat again what we do here. So firstly, here we take any coil, and this coil connect with any galvanometer, and we take any bar magnet. Bar magnet has two pole, north pole and south pole. Okay, so magnetic field line starts at north pole and end at south pole. Okay, so when this magnet comes closer to this coil, then more and more magnetic field lines passing through these coils, due to which magnetic flux changes here. Okay, so when magnetic flux changes, induced EMF produced inside this coil. Okay, so here, so when these coils, okay, move away from this coil, okay, when this bar magnet away from these coils, then magnetic field line also changes here. Okay, so that magnetic flux changes, due to which induced EMF produced inside this coil. Okay, and this is our first law. Okay, so whenever the amount of magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit, this is a closed circuit, okay, changes, and EMF is induced. Okay, when magnetic flux changes, then induced EMF is produced inside this coil. Okay, when this magnetic flux does not change, if this magnetic flux does not change, then no induced EMF produced inside this coil. Okay, so here when magnetic flux linked with closed circuit changes, and EMF is induced in it, when magnetic flux changes. Okay, so here, and now we discuss second law. Okay, so this, according to second law, the magnitude of induced EMF, here you see that in this figure. Okay, so magnitude, this induced EMF, okay, this is the symbol of induced EMF. Okay, the magnitude of this induced EMF is equal to rate of change of magnetic flux. This rate of change of magnetic flux. Okay, when magnetic flux will change, then induced EMF will produced inside this coil. Okay, so according to this law, the magnitude of induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Okay, so here you see that. So according to this law, the magnitude of induced EMF is equal to rate of change of magnetic flux. Okay, rate of change of magnetic flux here. Okay, if we take here the symbol of magnetic flux, okay, so that here we take its magnitude value, only magnitude values, is equal to rate of change of magnetic flux, d phi b upon dt. Okay, so here let phi 1, okay, phi 1 be the magnetic flux, linked with a closed circuit or coil. Okay, so here we take coil, this is a closed coil, and this closed coil and this coil connect with a galvanometer, and this is a closed path or closed circuit, whatever we say that here. Okay, and this is the coil. So at time, okay, so this is the phi 1 be the magnetic flux linked with this coil, okay, at time t1, and we take here the phi 2, okay, phi 2 be the magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit or coil at time t2. Okay, at time t2, then change in magnetic flux, I mean a delta phi is equal to phi 2 minus phi 1. Okay, this is the magnetic flux, change in magnetic flux in time interval dt, in time interval delta t, and delta t is equal to, we can write here delta t is equal to t2 minus t1. Okay, and this is a change in magnetic flux in interval delta t. So what will be the induced EMF here? Okay, so now we see that. So here that is induced EMF proportional to, okay, rate of change of magnetic flux, I mean d phi upon dt, and we can write here phi 2 minus phi 1 upon t2 minus t1, okay, proportional to phi 2 minus phi 1 t2 minus t1, and we directly write here. Okay, so what is the meaning of phi 2 minus phi 1? Delta phi and delta t. Okay, time interval we can write here delta t. Okay, so when we remove this proportionality, so k comes here. Okay, k is a proportionality constant here, phi 2 minus phi 1 upon t2 minus t1. Okay, k is constant of proportionality. Okay, so we can write here. Okay, when we take k is equal to 1. Okay, so when we take k is equal to 1, then what happen here? Phi 2 minus phi 1 t2 minus t1. Okay, so we directly write here d phi upon dt. Okay, rate of change of magnetic flux, okay, with respect to time. Okay, it produced induced EMF in the coil. Okay, so if coil has n turns, okay, if this coil has how many turns? So if a coil has n turns, okay, n number of turns, then what happens? So if a coil has n number of turns, then we can write here induced EMF is equal to n, capital N, and we multiply it with capital N, d phi b upon dt. Okay, this is our value. So our next topic is magnetic flux. Magnetic flux. Okay, so what is a magnetic flux here? I mean total number of magnetic lines passing through that surface. Okay, so here we take any magnet. We already know that. Okay, this is a bar magnet, and the magnetic field line starts at North Pole and ends at South Pole. Okay, these are called magnetic field lines. Okay, and this make a closed loop. Okay, closed loop here. Okay, so here these are the magnetic field lines, and we take any surface. Okay, we take any surface here. Okay, of area A, and the when magnetic field lines pass through this surface and make 90 degree here. Okay, these magnetic field lines normal to this surface. Okay, of area A, and which make angle 90 degree here. So these are magnetic field lines. I mean the total number of magnetic field lines passing through that surface is called magnetic flux. Okay, so the magnetic flux depend upon strength of magnet. Okay, strength of magnetic field. Okay, and also it's depend upon area. Okay, it's depend upon area, this area. Okay, so here we take any surface. Okay, any uniform magnetic field. We already know that this is a uniform magnetic field. Okay, these are uniform magnetic fields. Okay, here all the these field lines are parallel to each other and equidistant from other lines, from other magnetic field lines. Okay, so here we take any surface. Okay, and we take a very small area here. Okay, and uniform magnetic field line passing here. Okay, uniform magnetic field line passing through this surface. Okay, and this is a unit. Okay, normal to this surface. Okay, n is normal to this surface. Okay, and these magnetic field lines make angle theta with this unit vector. Okay, we take only one magnetic field lines. Okay, this is the one magnetic field lines, and this is the normal to this surface, and it make angle theta with this magnetic field lines. Okay, so we write here. So let n cap be the unit vector normal to the surface. This unit vector normal to the surface. Okay, and here theta, this theta is the angle between unit vector and the uniform magnetic field. Okay, so then magnetic flux. Okay, so magnetic flux through this surface. Okay, so phi b we can write here. This magnetic flux through this surface. We already know that magnetic flux is equal to B dot A, dot product of magnetic field into area. Okay, so we can write here dot product B A cos theta, and okay, so we can write here B cos theta A. Okay, what is B cos theta here? So B cos theta, you can see that here. So it is a component of B along this unit vector. Okay, so we resolve B into two components. Okay, B cos theta and B sin theta. Okay, so we can write here this is a component. Okay, this is a component which is a perpendicular to the surface into area. Okay, this is a magnetic flux. Okay, and now we discuss some case. Okay, our first case is here, case number 1. when theta is equal to 0 degree, when theta is equal to 0 degree, what happened in this case? Okay, so these are the magnetic field lines, okay, which make an angle theta with this normal, okay, and we already know that the formula, and this is the magnetic field lines, B cos theta A. Okay, when theta is equal to 0, when theta is equal to 0, then what happened here? So we put theta is equal to 0 here, so B cos 0 A. Okay, finally BA. Okay, this is the magnetic flux. This is the maximum magnetic flux here. Okay, so here we can write here the maximum number of magnetic field lines pass through the given surface. Pass through the given surface. Okay, so in this case, okay, so here this magnetic field just normal to the surface. This magnetic field normal to the surface. Then maximum number of magnetic field line pass through this surface. Okay, here theta is equal to 0 degree. Okay, and here this is a normal. Okay, normal n. Okay, and case number 2, theta is equal to 90 degree. When theta is equal to 90 degree, then what happened? Okay, so we put this value 5. We already know that magnetic flux is equal to B cos theta A. Okay, we put here theta is equal to 90 degree. 5B B cos 90 A. Okay, cos 90 we already know that it becomes 0 into A. Okay, finally it becomes 0. Okay, so 5B is equal to 0. Okay, thus the magnetic flux through a given surface is 0 when theta is equal to 90 degree. Okay, I mean in this condition, you see that here. Okay, so this is a normal. Okay, and this angle, this component, I mean the B. Okay, okay, so in this condition, angle between this normal and this magnetic field lines is 90 degree. Okay, so here magnetic flux 0, magnetic flux 0 here. Okay. So our next topic is magnetic flux density. Okay. Magnetic flux density. Okay, it is defined as the magnetic flux per unit area. Magnetic flux per unit area, and we can write here phi B upon A. Okay, B is equal to, we can write here B, magnetic flux density is equal to magnetic flux per unit area. Magnetic flux per unit area. This is called magnetic flux density. And what is the unit of magnetic flux? So we already know that magnetic flux is equal to B cos theta A. Okay. So what is the unit as a unit of magnetic field? Tesla, and area A square. Sorry, area meter square. Okay, Tesla meter square Weber. Okay, unit of magnetic flux Weber. And here the magnetic flux density B is equal to. Okay, so what we write here? So unit of magnetic flux Weber upon area meter square. Okay, Weber meter square.